Thank you very much for everyone for joining tonight's board business meeting. We will start this meeting. It is now 6:38. We are going to start this meeting by saluting to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kaufman, can we get a roll call?
Yes. Ms. Hall,
Present.
Mr. Wright, here. Ms. Richardson,
Present.
Ms. Hopkins.
Here.
Mr. Tom,
Present.
Mr. Callahan. Here. Ms. Cook Henry,
She's not here. She's out sick.
Ms. Ivory,
Out sick.
and Ms. Boykins.
Present.
Mr. Bangura.
No student reps will be on. It's spring break.
Good point. Okay,
Good for
that
them.
completes roll.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Kaufman. Comments from the board president. I am really happy to be back. Thank you, everybody, that came to see MJ. He's actually here today. I'm back from maternity leave and I'm really excited, ready to get things moving and jumping. So thank you very much. I always start with a quote, and I'm big on quotes and people know this, or just big on words. And one thing I want to leave everybody with is that sometimes in life you feel like you're having a bad day, but try to reflect and understand there's no bad days, there's bad moments. And if we can control that moment, or if we can reflect in that moment, sometimes that will help us throughout our day. So just know that it's never a bad day. We just have bad moments in life. With that being said, we're going to move to our superintendent report by Dr. B. Coates.
Good evening. I'm going to ask that Justin put the presentation up on the screen. I'm having technical difficulties.
Very good. Maybe. Very good.
So the superintendent's report this evening, can you click on slideshow so that we can see the slideshow, please? It's up in the top right corner. Thank you. So there are several things that I want to highlight tonight. The next slide highlights or shows special thanks, celebrating success, and district and community announcements. If we could go to advance the slides, please. Under special thanks, I do want to highlight Donors Choose, and again, thank Donors Choose for continuing to support our teachers. You can see 3 schools that are listed here, and the staff who have received funding to support various initiatives. There are several celebrations that we have. There are some successes that have occurred within our district, and I would like to highlight those as well. The first one is to our teacher, Amanda Simiglio. I knew I was going to screw that up a little bit, but hopefully I didn't do too bad, Miss Amanda. But congratulations on being a recipient of the Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union Excellence in Teacher Award I have participated in this event every year that it's been held. It's a really, really nice event. The award recipient will receive $1,000 toward any educational expenses, along with the school being awarded $1,000 as well. The next congratulations I have is to the Penwood High School inaugural girls flag football team. They had their game recently, and they've also been invited to visit Lincoln Financial Field, being recognized as one of the league's newest teams. So congratulations to the Penwood High School girls flag football team. Some other announcements that we have this evening. The first one is for families. Please keep in mind that spring 2024 testing is coming up. This is an updated document. Testing or assessments will begin for English language arts on April the 24th instead of April the 23rd, because April the 23rd is now an Act 80 day. So we did have to adjust our spring assessment starting schedule, if you will, for English language arts. The other dates are listed here for the high school. I just ask that families and parents, please make sure that your children are prepared to enter school ready to take their assessment. The next celebration or announcement we have is that on April the 3rd, and this is historic for our district, this will be the first ever, to my understanding, track meet that we've been able to host, because we now have an athletic complex that our students so rightfully deserve. And so I'm going to encourage everyone to come cheer them on Wednesday, April the 3rd at 3:45 p.m. The next announcement I have is kindergarten registration. Please make sure, if you have not already registered, that you come out on March the 28th, 2024. We will be registering students for kindergarten here in this building from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Even though you may not have a child entering kindergarten, you may know someone, grandchild, nephew, niece, whatever it is. If you know of someone, please share this information. It's very important for us to get our students registered ahead of time. Next, I do want to share with you that Penwood High School will be hosting a career fair on Thursday, April the 18th. Last year when we attended this fair, it was very well attended. We had lots of different employers in place. And there were individuals who have graduated from Penwood High School who were able to talk about their career path to where they are today. So that will be on April the 18th of next month. Also, the William Penn School District is hosting their hiring fair on May the 9th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and we will be at the Penwood High School campus. We will be providing intent to hire forms for individuals at the actual hiring fair. So please share that information with individuals that you may be aware of. And I am also pleased to announce that we will be providing summer enrichment opportunities again next summer. More information will be coming out, but all students who are currently in our district and rising kindergarten students will also be able to take advantage of our summer enrichment programs. Madam President, that concludes my remarks for tonight, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. B. Coates. Just wanted to make a comment with the April 3rd. If you're alumni, it means really a whole lot to us. If you are a Penwood graduate, you know about running on the second floor of Penwood High School. That's where we had our track practice. And that's been a long time. Even when I went to Penwood East, running on the dirt track for a long time. And, you know, I always say, when you look good, you feel good. And our student athletes, especially our track team, we're looking good out there. And I'm really encouraged and happy to see what's going to happen on April 3rd when we can step out there and look like everybody else, because that's never been the case for our school district. And I thank all the boroughs who contributed and all the people that have contributed to make this happen, because it's like once in a lifetime thing for us. So thank you very much for that. I also want to say thank you to Dr. B. Coates for keeping summer enrichment going on. Summer enrichment, he's one of our first school superintendents to actually go out into the community and find people that have nonprofits that are going on in our district, outside of our district, to bring them in to help encourage them. Like, for instance, we have different programs that run throughout the summer, so our parents can drop their kids off and be a part of different camps, like Camp Kaboom and things of that nature. So I just want to say thank you very much for keeping that going on, and school board directors are working hard to keep our programs up and running. With that being said, we are going to go right into our approval of agendas. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda for March 25th, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All those, I'm sorry, all those, any comments, questions, or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those against? Can I get a motion to approve the business meeting from February 26th, 2024?
So moved. Second.
Any comments, questions, or concerns? All right, hearing or seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those against? All right, can I get a motion to approve the committee meeting of the whole for March 18th, 2024?
So moved. Second.
Any comments, questions, or concerns? All right, hearing or seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? All right, our next move to action will be the remarks from student representative. The students are on spring break. So just to let you know, our student representatives are Mr. Mohammed Bangora, Jayla Wise, Morgan Askew Green, and Eli Favor. All right, and they are currently on spring break, so kudos to them. Next move will be special awards. There are no special awards tonight. At this time, we would like to have any public comment on agenda items. So anything in the agenda that someone would like to make a comment on, we ask you to step to the podium, give your first name, your last name, and where you represent or where you reside, and we'll hear from your comment on agenda items at this time. Yeah, Ms. Shinda.
Hi, I'm Malik Gibson, I live in Darby. I have a question about Kate. Page 13. When our secretary without the guidance.
Page 13, what letter are you under?
Saturday school.
Saturday school, okay. And your question is when our secretary,
About work as IA.
a secretary working as an IA, okay. I will have to refer that to Dr. B. Coates or Ms. Pecan for that question. 1 second. So Josh.
Saturday school,
Josh,
Ms. Brown, can you assist with that? For Saturday school?
I need to come to the podium.
No, we can hear you from here, Ms. Brown, Ms. Tyra Brown.
In this particular incident, the person who was hired resigned, who was an actual IA. Therefore, the position was open, no additional IA applied, the secretary applied in that current position.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Brown and Ms. Mashinda. All right, are there any other public comments at this time on agenda items? All right, hearing or seeing none. We next are going to go to our communications. Mr. Kaufman, are there any communications?
There are none at the time.
Okay, there are no communications at this time. Next, we are going to go to our committee reports. Our first committee report is our,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, 1 second.
There does appear to be a hand raised, but it's not a,
It's been raised since we did.
okay, great.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Hoff. All right, we're going to go to our committee reports, which our first committee is our community relations. Subject A1, the DCIU Secondary Transition Fair that is going to, that is taking place. This is, the DCIU is hosting a secondary transition fair on April 9th from April 9th from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. This is an open house event. Will support post-secondary transition planning for adolescents and young adults receiving special education services in Delaware County. Connect with 40+ agencies and community organizations that will share valuable resources for post-secondary education, independent living, and employment opportunities. This is an excellent opportunity for individuals and their families to connect with services, service providers to ensure a successful transition into adulthood. And once again, this is the DCIU is hosting a secondary transition fair on April 9th, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. A2, the Rotary Club of Upper Darby, Lansdowne January Student of the Month Award. The Rotary Club of Upper Darby and Lansdowne recognizes high school seniors from the Penwood, Archbishop Pendergrass, Monsignor Bonner, and Upper Darby High Schools and its Students of the Month. Congratulations to Anaya Laws, class of 2024, who was selected as the Penwood High School Student of the Month for January 2024. Students are chosen based on academic performances, leadership skills, and participation in extracurricular activities. Anaya is a volunteer firefighter for the Yaten Fire Company and also volunteers for the Salvation Army in Philadelphia. On March 9th, she and her friends rescued a person whose car was stuck in water and helped them get to safety while warning other drivers about the deep water. After high school, Anaya would like to go to fire school, get her EMT certification, and go to college for fire science. Congratulations, Anaya. A3, William Penn School District Climate Culture Engagement Survey. Our William Penn School District Climate Culture Engagement Surveys are open through Friday, April 5th, and families, staff, and students in grades 3 through 12 are encouraged to complete them. Please share your honest and thoughtful responses to the questions. We need your feedback to continue to make the improvements in the educational experience and to continue to build stronger relationships. Thank you. A4, FMFCU Excellence in Teaching Award winners. The Franklin Federal Credit Union. Congratulations to Amanda Simariglio, our 5th grade teacher at Walnut Elementary School, who is a recipient of the Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union Foundation Excellence in Teaching Award. Each year, the FMFCU Foundation Excellence in Teaching Award recognizes 20 outstanding and dedicated teachers in our area. Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union created this award in 2007 in partnership with Delaware County Intermediate Union. The recipient of this award receives $1,000 towards classroom expenses and commemorative keepsakes. The recipient should also receive a $1,000 award toward Walnut Elementary, and to receive $1,000 as well. So Walnut Elementary will also receive $1,000 as well. A5, kindergarten registration closes March 31st, 2024. Dr. Biko did also speak on that as well. You can see all of the required information and documentation that is needed for your child to be registered for kindergarten. And that concludes my community relations report. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns at this time? All right, hearing or seeing none, we are going to go to our education committee agenda read by our chair is not here. So at this time, I will read, no, I'll do it for her. Ms. Valerie Cook Henry, from our education, she is our chairperson. B1, release and settlement agreements. B2, expulsion waiver agreements. B3, in-state field trip. That is for our Park Lane students. They're taking a field trip to Lincoln University on April 5th. B4, Care Solace Mental Health Services. And that motion is to approve a contract agreement with Care Solace not to exceed $5,000 from April 1st to April 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2024. Just a little bit about Care Solace. The Care Solace program provides access to mental health services for students K through 12, staff, and families throughout the district. They seek to provide equitable access to care regardless of health insurance coverage accepting various payment methods from insurance to sliding scale options. Care Solace offers community-wide solutions to all district stakeholders, spreading mental health awareness and offering supportive services. And that concludes the Education Committee agenda at this time. Does anyone have any comments, questions?
We need a motion in a second.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Thank you, Mr. Khan. Any comments, questions, or concerns?
No.
All right. Hearing or seeing none? All those in favor? Aye. All those against? All right, next we're gonna go to our Personnel Committee agenda read by our chair is not here. She's also out sick, so, Ms. Hall, if
You got
you can take over for Personnel Committee agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Boykin. C1 retirement, C2 resignation, C3 appointments, C4 changes in assignment, C5 leaves of absence, C6 mentors, C7 miscellaneous appointments, C8 tenure award, C9 salary track changes, C10 miscellaneous personnel items, C11 modifications to previously approved items. And C12
No, she can't.
No C12.
Placeholder.
placeholder C12. That's it.
All right,
Second.
thank you, Ms. Hall. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns with regard to our Personnel Committee agenda that was just read?
No, just a point of privilege, a big thank you to Ms. Sinning again. For thousands of science students that she has mentored through our district. Have a great time, Ms. Sinning.
Yes,
You're
she's
awesome.
been here since 1988.
Yep.
That's what you want.
Oh, Ms. Womack too.
Oh, yes, also
Sorry.
Ms. Walmat.
Ms. Womack, you're the bomb. Thanks.
Yes. Yes, she's been here since 2003, so we wish you well, Ms. Walmat, on your retirement. Thank you for serving the district since 2003, and thank you, Ms. Sinning, for your years of service and being in the district since 1988. All right, so with that being said, with that being said, we're gonna go to our property
Wait,
committee.
we need to vote.
Oh, yes, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those against? All right, thank you very much. Going to our property committee agenda read by our chair, Mr. Jan Tom.
Thank you, Madam President. So we have D1, the DCED Facilities Improvement Grants Emergency Application. This motion is to approve the new facility grant for the DCED. Required applicants must be received by May the 31st. Each project has a $100 application fee. Emergency projects do not require a match if approved. Additionally, emergency projects can commence prior to grant approval. We are proposing the following projects to be completed as an emergency and submitting the grant application for reimbursement. Middle school gym roof, approximately $900,000. The HVAC equipment replacement, chillers and controllers at Ardmore, chillers and controllers at Pembroke Middle School, approximately $1,600,000. Evans roof replacement, approximately $1 million. East Lansdowne roof replacement, approximately $1 million. Security cameras, approximate cost $600,000. With these D2 DCED facilities improvement grants normal applications. The motion is to approve the facilities DCED grant. Required applications to be received by May 31st. Each project has a $100 application fee. Regular non-emergency projects, a 25% match. Additional non-emergency projects cannot commence prior to grant approval. We are proposing the following projects to be submitted with the understanding that these projects will not commence if they do not receive grant funding. Middle school main roof, remain roof of the middle school, approximately $2.9 million. Bell's ADA accessibility, approximately $1.6 million. District-wide access control for exterior doors, approximately $1 million. non-emergency HVAC control replacements district-wide, $1.4 million. Walnut roof, approximately $1 million. Solar field at Park Lane, approximately $2 million. Solar panels on Cypress, approximately $2 million. D3 complex, athletic complex change order number 9. The motion is to approve change order number 9 related to Seabox rental kept on site after site was turned over to the district. D4 athletic complex change order 10. Motion is to approve the change order number 10 related to updating the archway to reflect a full complex name with the addition of Rathbury Athletic Complex to her field that is already there. And D5 facilities rental fee schedule. This is recommended actually to review the updated facilities rental fee schedule. That concludes my report this evening, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tom. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, are there any comments, questions, or concerns with the property report that was just read by our chair, Mr. I got you, Mr. Tom? All right. All those in favor? All those against? All right, hearing or seeing none. Ms. Mashinda, if it is a public comment with regard to agenda items, we passed that moment. Okay. Okay, well, yeah, I guess that will be the proper time. Yep, thank you so much. All right. Next, we are going to go to item E, which is our Budget and Finance Committee agenda, read by our chair, Ms. Jennifer Howe.
E1 Treasurer's Report, E2 lists the bills, E3 Delaware County Vocational DCTS Budget 24-25, E4 Delaware County Intermediate Unit General Operating Budget 24-25, E5 Delaware County Intermediate Special Education Budget 24-25, E6 Contract with Deborah M. Creek Esquire for E-rate services 24-25, E7 Network licenses for access points, and E8 network switches, network equipment switches.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hall. Can I get a second? Second. All right, are there any comments, questions, or, no, I'm sorry. Yes, are there any comments, questions, or concerns at this time?
And just for a citizen note, E7 and E8 use E-rate to get the products at
Okay,
like around 10 cents on the dollar or something ridiculous. So,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Thank you so much for that, Ms. Hall. All those in favor? Aye. All those against? All right, hearing or seeing none. Next, we're gonna go to our policy committee agenda, read by our chair, Ms. Joanna Hopkins.
First readings, first of all, good evening, Madam Chair, and thank you, and good evening, public. On first readings of policy 221.1, 221.2, and 221.3. Motion is to approve the first readings of the William Penn School District policies, 22.1.1 William Penn High School dress code, 22.1.2 elementary school student dress code, and 22.1.3 middle school student dress code, and to enter such readings into the minutes. Policy 221.1 Penwood High School dress code. I shall read. The changes to this policy consist of updated standards to consider appropriate dress grooming in an academic setting. To clarify our expectation, a survey of guardians, students, and community members provided feedback on a list of inappropriate attire. In accordance with this school board approved code, students will not be permitted to wear clothing such as 1, outfits that expose the midriff, belly, or posterior. 2, skirts, shorts, sports, or dress shorter than the outstretched arms, longest finger. 3, clothing with obscene, profane, or inflammatory language or graphics. Policy 22.1.2 is the elementary school students dress code. The changes to this policy consist of dates, the gendered text, as well as standards to considered appropriate dress grooming in an academic setting. The majority of parents and guardians and staff surveyed wish to propose to the William Penn School District Board of Directors a mandatory school uniform dress code policy to adopt for all students in grades kindergarten through 6th. Policy 22.1.3 is the middle school students' dress code. The changes to this policy consists of updated standards to considered appropriate dress grooming in an academic setting. The majority of parents, guardians, and staff surveyed wish to propose to the William Penn School District Board of Directors a mandatory school uniform dress code policy to adopt for all students in grades 7 through 8, including 1, solid colored pants, skirts, jumper, skirts, or shorts of the appropriate size for the student, solid colored polo top, Oxford, or dress shirt, either short or long sleeve. And then 3, in cold weather, a pullover vest or cardigan sweater may be worn. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hopkins. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, comments, questions, and concerns. I do have a question. To Dr. B. Coates, when a student, say for instance, if a student comes to the high school and they are wearing a shirt that their midriff is showing or their belly is showing, what is the process of, like, what happens and how are we ensuring that teachers and admin are following through?
Typically, what should happen is that one of the administrators will have a conversation with the student, making them aware of what is the proper dress code. There are some instances in which the student does have to cover up or make a modification to what they have on. In some instances, parents are also notified so that we don't have that same concern continuing. I do know that there are some schools in which we try to provide some alternate clothing if possible, but that does not always happen.
So everybody, all schools will be following that process.
That is our plan for next year. I think we also, and as I've shared with some principals, I think we also have to manage and be mindful of the fact that we do not want to have students missing a significant amount of school because of a dress code. Right, but I also think though that we have to enforce it, so there is some subjectivity.
Okay.
I think that has to be taken into account by the leader of the actual school building.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. B. Coates.
You're welcome.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those against? All right, hearing or seeing none. Next, we're going to go to our solicitor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Simply to report that there was an executive session this evening immediately preceding the board meeting to discuss 2 personnel matters and bargaining with the teachers.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Khan. Next, we are going to go to our reports from the Delaware County Community College, which is our liaison is Mr. Robert Wright.
All right, thank you. At this time, we have 23 students who have applied and submitted their test score taking course placement for one of our pathway programs. Of the 23 students, we have 7 students for the pathway program that have qualified test scores that makes them eligible for pathway program. We have 1 additional student who would like to open dual enrollment has qualified test score. The student breakdowns for the pathway program as follow. Pre-nursing pathway, 3 students, Business Academy pathway, 3 students, teacher education pathway students, 1. These students would be attending class at the main campus that their cohort would be filled with other students from Brickley High School and Inverville High School. I have spoken to a few students who did not get place college level on their course placement who would like to be retested. Hopefully that number increase as students retest. For comparison, of fall 2023, we had 8 students that took open dual enrollment classes only. Typically, we have more students that sign up for open dual enrollment as we approach the end of spring and early summer. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wright. Are there any questions from the Board of Directors with regard to Delaware County Community College report? I'm glad to hear about more for pathways, 23 students for pathways, and I hope we continue to increase our dual enrollment, which I know you're working on. But I love that.
I feel really excited that this is really going to have an improvement and we are getting special attention with
Okay.
after help.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much, Mr.
But I wasn't going to make a recommendation. Can I make a recommendation?
Of course.
I think what would really help this program, that we have guiding counselors that particularly deal with the career pathway. Opposes that all the guiding counselors usually deal with 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students, but we just need a person that's going to be totally focused on this project. But I know it would be in the budget, something that had to be talked about, negotiated, hopefully that it can happen.
Yeah, I do understand that. We were just in a meeting, I think last month, Dr. Because when we were talking about guidance counselor was saying we need one more guidance counselor. So I don't know if that's something that we could put on a guidance counselor's lieu, like added. I don't know if we'll be able to have one guidance counselor specifically dedicated to career path, but maybe we can have one guidance counselor that works on that as well. I don't know if
Right.
that's ever been established, but maybe that's something that we could work on. I'm not sure. We'll look into it. Okay,
Yeah, I can support that.
okay. Thank you. Thank you for suggesting that.
You're welcome.
All right. Next, we're going to go to our Delaware County Intermediate Unit, Ms. Joanna Hopkins.
Thank you, Ms. Boykins, and I thank you because my phone is about to die. So Skills USA District 2 Regional Competition winners, January and February 2024. During the last 2 months, students in various programs at the Delaware County Technical Schools participated in Skills USA District 2 regional competitions. Skill USA is a partnership of students, teachers, and industry representatives working together to ensure America has a skilled workforce. Skills USA provides educational programs, events, and competitions that support career and technical education in the nation's classroom. The following students, and there's a long list of them, but I only want to highlight our own. The following students receive awards for finishing in first, second, or third place in this regional competition. And for our school district in the early childhood education, field, Ashaya Outlaw won second place for early childhood education representing Penwood High School. I also want to announce that the Department of Career and Technical Education granted Pennsylvania Competitive Equipment Grant $85,000 to DCTS. The equipment grant allowed DCTS to purchase a Hunter automotive alignment machine and lift for the automotive program, and a DXTTR radiographing image trainer for the dental occupational program. Also was awarded $261,000 that was used to purchase Pierce reinforcer engine pumper trainer for the Emergency Protective Services Program, a 10-star forklift, emergency vehicle, heavy machinery, and automotive simulator for the Automotive Emergency Protective Services and Logistics Program, and a MakerBot 3D printer for the engineering program. For the teaching and learning, Spelling Bee, Secondary Transition Fair, Pennsylvania State Police, Neurodiversity and Autism Networking Event, and STEM that happened back in the earlier part of this month. And then the professional developments that's going on in Hershey, PA from February 28th through March the 1st had happened. And then I think that is really concluding my report. That was it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You guys are busy over there. Any comments, questions, or concerns from the board of directors for Ms. Joanna Hopkins with regard to the DCIU? All right, hearing or seeing none. Next, we're gonna go to our Delaware County Legislative Council, Red Bar Liaison, Ms. Jennifer Hall.
Thank you, Ms. Boykins. The council met on March 13th, 2024. And we have a new note summary, so you're in luck. The budget hearings have concluded. with the House and Senate Appropriations Committee's reviewing of testimonies and budget requests. Negotiations between legislators and the governor's office aim to finalize the budget by June 30th, which will go into effect July 1st. Side note, they may or may not get done by June 30th, and that's their prerogative. Side note, the school district must pass a budget whether we have numbers or not. That's what we call guessing. Bills to watch, HB 2063, which aims to reform at the education tax credit programs to better serve students in need by adjusting eligibility criteria and administrative expenses. SB 801 focuses on literacy achievement through structured literacy programs, though concerns exist about assessment tools and professional development timing. HB 663 addresses school district residency disputes, outlining conditions for disenrollment. Charter reform efforts are underway to adjust charter school funding disparities with discussions on a proposed flat tuition rate for cyber schools. Now you can pay between $6,000 and $25,000 for a cyber school. No rhyme, reason, or any. Basic education funding update. Limited movement has been reported with concerns about delays impacting programs like extended school year and summer programs. Resolutions and discussions, we talked about vouchers because that's a thing. There's a resolution urging equitable funding and opposing voucher expansion. The legislative breakfast for my school board directors is May 17th, and our superintendent. Please attend if you can. Just another note legislatively, I want to thank Dr. B. Coates and the board for having a legislative breakfast in our home for our legislators. Most were in attendance, so that was awesome. And I want to thank Dr. B. Coates for last Friday being at Upper Darby's press conference to talk about educational funding. So thank you, Dr. B. Coates. That's all. If anybody has any questions about any of this, I can send you this report. You can reach me at jhoff at the regular school district email. I'm happy to send it to you. This is a public document and you're welcome to.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hall.
You're welcome.
Any comments, questions, or concerns?
Yes, I would like to, for the record, state I was at the Upper Darby program dealing with the legislators. I was glad to see that we're not in this by ourselves. I was very impressed that every superintendent had their own program that they stated and made it known. And one of the things that stuck out with me with Delaware County Intermediate Unit, when they mentioned going back to education, teaching, that in a technical person started out in the technical career could make maybe $70,000 a year versus a new teacher for $40,000 a year.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to also just say thank you to the board of directors and let the public know, with the board that we have a really, really active board. And I hope everyone knows this. The legislative breakfasts are so important to attend because we can speak our voice and our concerns actually to different people in the government. And that is very important. Everybody doesn't always hear your voice. Everybody doesn't always hear your concern, but we actually sit down with our state reps. We sit down with our governors and our senators to sit down and talk. And everybody on our board of directors, I can say, like, are really, really active with making those links. And our superintendent is as well. He's very vocal with letting everyone know what our needs and concerns are, which hence is the reason why we're able to do some of the things that we do. And I just want to say thank everybody for taking time out their day and making these meetings because you don't have to, but you're there. And people know that we fight at Williamson School District. So thank you very much for that. Next, do we have any old business? No old business. We do have some new business. So the election of Delaware County Intermediate Unit is that time again, guys. We have board members that are running. And the motion is to approve the resolution electing the individuals as directed to serve as the members of the Delaware County Intermediate Unit, number 25, Boards of Directors. Ms. Hopkins, we're gonna need your help on this. If you know any of these names, this is basically the William Penn School District Board has received a request to elect members of Delaware County Intermediate Unit, number 25, Board of Directors. Nominations have been closed, and it will be appropriate for the board to take action to elect the board members listed below for the term indicated. So the term is July 1st to 2024 through June 30th, 2027. And these are the representatives' names and the area that they represent. Frank Sill from Chichester, Dr. Melissa Huber from Pendelco, Hillary Fletcher from the Rose Tree Media District, Rachel Mitchell is from Upper Darby, and Rachel Hallberg is from Wallington, Swarthmore. Ms. Hopkins, if you know any of these or you wanted to make a comment, because I know you are a liaison, are these okay to move forward on these candidates?
So they have all been elected and been sent over from their respective school district. They are already kind of sort of serving already.
Gotcha.
But the new ones to the board are actually Mr. Frank Sill, Dr. Melissa Huber, and Miss Rachel Holbert.
Okay.
Are actually the new ones. Miss Hillary Fletcher and Miss Rachel Mitchell have been on that board, their respective boards for a while now,
Okay.
doing phenomenal jobs. And even we had our board retreat. And so I did get a chance to meet the three new ones, and everyone's just really phenomenal, and everybody's doing the same work that we're doing here and making sure that we're advocating for our children and our district and our unit. Yes, sir.
And with that as a partial endorsement, can you make a motion just so that?
I can make a
I have a question. I
motion,
have a
no
question.
problem
Motion and second.
whatsoever. Yes, ma'am.
That was kind of my,
Okay.
yeah, motion
Okay.
and second, then talk.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay, so I move that to approve the resolution electing the following individuals: Frank Sill, Dr. Melissa Huber, Hillary Fletcher, she's gonna kill me, Rachel Mitchell and Rachel Holberg. To serve as members of the Delaware County IU number 25 Board of Directors.
Second question. Does that mean Ed's retired? Ed Carterell is retired?
Yes, Ed is retiring, yeah.
Thank you for that, Ms. Hopkins. We never want to vote blindly, so it's good that we have somebody on that. Comments were made. All those in favor? Aye. All those against? All right, hearing or seeing none. Right before we get to the public comments, just want to say, last week, the Board of Directors had the opportunity, as you know, we are looking to build a new high school. In 2025, the new high school, at the end of 2025, we will be starting construction for our new high school. With that, expand. Let me say that correctly, because we're not building a new high school from the ground up, but it will look like that. It will look like that. So what I want everyone to know is that as Board of Directors, before we make a decision of this magnitude to add on, we are making sure that we go out and we look at other schools. So the contractor that we're working with, KCBA, has opened up an opportunity for us to go out and look at other schools that they have just recently built. And it's going to look similar. They look similar to ours. So last week, Mr. Wright, Ms. Hobb, Mr. Tong, we went out and we.
Miss Ivory.
Oh, Miss Ivy, yes, sorry, she's not, Miss Ivy. We went out to visit and Dr. B. Coates was there. Who else am I missing?
Mr. Calvin.
Mr. Kaufman was there. Mr. Deans was there. Mr. Dunn was there. And then there was Kate Crossett. We all went out to look at other schools so we can make sure that we have a good concept of what we want and what our students need. And we went to Avon Grove High School, we went to Lower Moreland High School, and we went to the STEM Academy. which was part of Downingtown. And I just want the residents to know that the structure, the concepts that they have set up, were phenomenal. Like, this is something that we want to bring to our students here. For instance, Avon Grove, they had a whole area where you can just, basically a green room where you can produce your own movie, your own show. They even had engineering concept for race cars, esports, drones. They have an area for just drones to teach children how to build drones and how they work. They also had shop areas where we know trades are coming back. They had metalworks, welding, like, I don't know, I wanted to share this with you to let you know that when we're talking about building another school, building and adding on to the school, we want our students to have everything else that everyone else has in other areas as well. And we know for a long time coming, we've missed out on a lot of different things. If you were a resident or a student at Penwood East, we used to have shop. If y'all remember, we had a shop class. We used to build, the first thing is we used to make our names, little nameplates out of wood. Those things have went away, but now it's coming back. So I just want everyone to know is we took a time, our whole day, out there to look at structure and buildings that KCBA has put together. And we're looking to bring some of those things. It gives us more of a discussion of what to talk about when we sit at the table with these contractors versus the contractors telling us what we need. We're able to say what we want. So that's a big difference. And I think it's important for you to know when we talk about spending tax dollars and we're spending money, we're really making sure we do our due diligence to make sure we know what we're talking about when we sit down at the table with these contractors versus them telling us what we need. We now know and have a better idea of what we want. So I just wanted to let you know, we spent our whole day, was that Friday? Our whole Friday out there, going to these different schools and learning about different concept building structures. One school had an open library, which was really, really interesting. Something else, a community area where kids nowadays, they don't have to just be confined into classrooms. They get a free period just to sit anywhere. You know, it kind of looks like an airport setup where you could just plug your phone in, sit, read a book versus having to stay in a confined space. That's the new move just so everybody knows. Different classroom sets, they had open classrooms where you could open all the doors and you're basically inside and outside. It was just really awesome. So I'm really excited about the addition of the high school. And I just want to let you know that we are doing our due diligence with ensuring that we get all the information we can to make the best concept for our students as possible. With that being said, we're going to go next to our public comments for non-agenda items. Before we start our public comments for non-agenda items, last on our committee of the whole, I know we had a lot of Yaden residents on the call and they wanted to speak to the non-agenda items. And I just wanted to say for our Yaden residents before you come up, that your voices are definitely heard. With Dr. B. Coates having a meeting with some of the residents at the Borough Hall, what was that, 2 weeks ago, a week ago? Earlier, March 7th. I know that Yaden residents in our school district are really excited about Kerr Field, and we're really excited about the use of Kerr Field. And I want everyone to know that we are willing to work with Yaden in any way possible for the use of Kerr Field. I did have the opportunity to review the meeting that was discussed with regard to Flag Day. And we are open to that. You know, when I'm from Yaden, Bailey Road 461. And I remember Flag Day being at Kerr. I remember things occurring, the events that we had, and we're open for discussion for it. It has never been, I just want everyone to know, it hasn't been brought to the board. No one has come to the board or emailed Dr. B. Coates and said, hey, this is what we would like to do for Flag Day preparation. So I just want everyone to know that we are open to those discussions. Also with regard to the use of the facility, if you want to talk about that today, we definitely are open to hear what you have to say. I want you to know that we're not against anyone utilizing, having the opportunity to utilize the facility. It's how we do it, the timing and the overuse is that we're concerned about the most. Because we do have to keep it in, we have to make sure that it's usable for track meets, as you see that we're having on April 3rd. And then also we have to keep it up for our residents as well. So I just wanted to state that before we start the discussion, because I don't want any resident of Yaden or any other borough to feel as though that they don't have access to it, or we're trying to keep you away from utilizing it. But it's just, we never really had those conversations. We haven't received any emails. I received one email after that meeting from a resident with regard to use. This was right after Dr. B. Coates had just addressed the community. So I just want to say you're welcome to speak. We're welcome to hear what you have to say, and we want to work together on the use of Kerr at this time. So you have the floor if anybody would like to speak with non-agenda items.
Everyone,
Hello.
my name is Yura Commodore. I am the president of the William Penn Educational Support Professionals. Most of us are here in this facility tonight. And I'm also a resident of the district in Darby. I'm here to advocate for a cause that is not only close to my heart, but imperative to the betterment of our educational system in the William Penn School District. Did you know that public schools are typically the #1 employer of any community? This means that their support staff are underpaid. Their neighbors and their families are also underpaid. Gratuity is going to be a cycle of poverty. I speak tonight on behalf of the dedicated support staff who contribute timeless times of hard work and dedication to our schools, to our students, to our staff members, officers, and the community. They are the backbone of our educational institution, yet their efforts often are unrecognized and undervalued. It is going on for time again. It's time for a wage increase to transition to a living wage for our educational support staff. First and foremost, I wish to express my profound gratitude to the remarkable support staff members throughout our district, for the instructional assistants who, in the classroom, support our students along with their teachers. With our schools filled with our secretaries, I can answer the call day in and day out and do whatever necessary that needs to be done, making our buildings have a smooth operation. Their contributions are indispensable. They provide crucial assistance to our educators, enabling them to focus on their primary mission, education of our students. Their dedication to our work environment, often in the face of challenging circumstances, deserves not only an admiration, but a fair compensation reflection of their valuable work. However, despite their unwavering commitment in indispensable roles, many support staffs in the public of Pennsylvania struggle to make ends meet. The current living wage for the ESP right now falls well below the guideline of a fair minimum wage. It is disheartening to witness individuals who pay such virtual roles and contributions in our district. Most of them are also residents of our William Penn School District and grappling with financial insecurities and hardship. This misalignment not only undermines morale, but also jeopardize the quality of education which we strive to uphold. Fair compensation is not merely about monetary reward. It is also about recognition of dignity and respect. It signifies acknowledgement of one's work contributions to the district and community. By investing in our support staff through our wage increase, we demonstrate our commitment to fostering and supporting an inclusive educational environment. Moreover, fair compensation enhances retention rates, ensures continuity, stability within our schools. It is an investment in the prosperity and the well-being of our entire education system. In conclusion, I urge all stockholders, from policymakers to school administrators, to prioritize this crucial issue. Let us commit to ourselves and to ensuring that no individual who has dedicated their career and their betterment of our children's future struggles to make ends meet. Let us show solidarity with our educational support staff and champion their cause to be fairly compensated for their contributions. You need a change. You deserve a change. We need action now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Ms. Commodore. Your words and sentiment definitely are felt. We start negotiation in December of 2024. Your contract is for June 30th, 2025. So we definitely will come to the table and discuss some things, around that time in December. Thank you very much. Are there any other, yes, Ms. Mashenda?
Next question. When is it unacceptable time to send a message on Parent Square?
When is a unacceptable time to send a message on Parent Square? Would you answer that?
I think it probably depends upon the magnitude of the message. Sometimes depends upon when information is obtained by the district, and so we may need to send out a message that could be an emergency, so that families are aware.
Okay, I'll say this. Is it acceptable to send a message at 10 o'clock on Saturday about a homeless meeting the following Thursday?
It could be. It is a Saturday.
10 o'clock. Okay. Another thing, I overheard that, 8th grade asked to use Fairfield for graduation and they were told no.
So I haven't received the email that magnitude you did. Okay, cool.
You are correct.
Was there a reason why they can't use it? Like, I mean, this such kids graduating, and then they big enough for everybody.
That was a decision that was made for this year as we continue to evaluate the use of Kerr Field, because there are lots of other expenses that we would have to incur to set up that field to be ready for a graduation exercise, and that money is not currently in the middle school's budget.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Lincoln, I did hear you when you said that we would start a negotiation in December.
That's what usually when we get together and we should start talking about.
Sure. However, we are talking about something possibly being negotiated for now, possibly. And the reason why we're asking this, because we're noticing time and time again, new positions are coming up, more money. Some of these positions that are coming up are positions that, some of the things that we do as ESPA members, and they're wanting to be taken out, and they're put in Act 93, but they're a part of our job description. So you're bringing up new positions, either other positions that's brought up. It's not, I mean, it's like we keep being stomped on and keep being told, it's not your turn yet, it's not your turn, just sit and wait. At what point as an ESP, am I supposed to stop? And me leaving the district to go somewhere else to get better pay? That's not what I want to do. And not every ESP wants to be a teacher. So roll your own. That's not always us. There's not always things there for the secretary. Like, it's not fair, because every time we turn around, we keep hearing about and seeing factual things being brought up for teachers, for them to get their credentials, for them to move up. Where is it for us to move up? Like, it's hard and it's discouraging. And the longevity is not there, the respect is not there. That is what I'm talking about, the morale, the support. We don't feel supported, we don't feel respected. We have administrators who flat out tell us, well, this is what I said, this is how it goes, this is my building, this is what you're gonna do. Who wants to hear that as an adult? Who wants to hear that? Because at the end of the day, no, we can't walk out, no, we can't go on strike. We have to sit there and do what we have to do. But if you keep telling us, oh, you can go elsewhere if you want to, that's really telling you don't care, you don't value.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And thank you for stating that. And I want you to know, Ms. Commodore, we do care. And we don't want you to feel that you're not valued or any other instructor to feel as though that they're not valued or support staff. We do value you. Before I comment or anything, I want our solicitor to respond to you.
What you're essentially asking is to reopen an existing contract, and that's kind of an extraordinary thing to do. I won't say it's never, ever happened in the history of the Commonwealth, but it doesn't happen very often. It's a very, very rare thing. Certainly admin and the board can talk about it, but it is, I can't remember the last time someone reopened a contract. I really can't. It's been many, 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 many years.
What I can say is that this will be my first year as president, being able to work with you guys. I'm looking forward to it. This will be my first time and I'm willing to hear. I can't promise anything, but what I tell you is that I understand what's going on. And I sympathize with your frustration, and I can do the best of my ability to talk with other board of directors and see what we can do. So every teachers are feeling it, support staff, I know you're feeling it just as well. And hopefully we can make up for that. Also to the comment from Ms. Mashinda, I just want to say that, not to say it's a moot point, but I understand eighth graders may want to have graduation there. And now that we know that, hear what I'm saying, now that we know that, this is something that we can hopefully try to incorporate in their costs when we talk about a school budget and things of that nature. We can look down the road and say, okay, we now have Kerr. Can we start hosting our own graduations? And if we do host our own graduation, what costs would it incur? That's something we've never even had the opportunity to look at. See what I'm saying? So it's new, but now we know that we can do it. Let's see how much it costs to look to the future, because I understand it's really nice up there. And it really would be nice to have, but let's see how the cost, what it would cost to do it. That's all. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You said about the expansion of the high school, does that mean that ninth grade still gonna be a separate building? Or y'all finally gonna bring them over to Green Avenue?
So that's something that is in discussion. We are trying to figure that out because, go ahead.
The high school will have grades 9 through 12. We will have 2 middle schools,
Thank you, Chief.
and elementary schools will have grades K through 5, and middle school will be grades 6 through 8. That was approved by the board when we approved the long range school facilities master plan to align the grade configurations K5, 6, 8, 9, 12. That will also afford our elementary schools to have some more space.
Another question, can you think it's possible when people apply for a job, if you interview them, if they don't get hired, like you should let these people know, like, if they look for a job? Like, I know it's hard, but a lot of times people apply for a position, you have an interview, you never say, no, I didn't get hired or nothing. And it's been like that for a while, for a while.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Hello.
Hi, my name is Anna, I'm from Yaden.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't think we have as many people that were here last time, but, I'm here with regards to Fairfield.
Yes.
There's 2 things that I would like them to reconsider. One is, this is the 75th anniversary of Flag Day.
Okay.
Yaden is the home of Flag Day. Fairfield was named after the founder of Flag Day. That is in June, so we really do need to get a decision with regards to whether or not we can actually
Yep.
use the field for that. There is a recreation committee that I think is having conversations with Dr. Beekers, but we do need to actually get a decision with regards to that. relatively quickly because it is in June. We need to make arrangements with regards to different contractors. And one of the key things that, we've always had fireworks in the past. I'm assuming we can't do that. So now we're looking at trying to do a light show there, or at least that's my.
Or a light show. Yeah.
The other thing is with regards to Kirkfield. Kirkfield has existed in Gaten for over 50 years. For all 50 years, all the residents have always had access to the facility, meaning we had access to actually walk on that track. The only time that you are no longer able to is now that we've done this upgrade. With regards to what you've done, there is now, we have that walking path.
Yes.
But there is security in the facility at all times that it is open, overseeing what you're doing on the walking path. The walking path is small. It's not wide enough. If you are walkers, you have walkers passing walkers, you have runners passing walkers. Some people like to walk with things in their ears. They can't, because you're trying to pay attention to the people behind you. My understanding is that you have cameras there. So, about a week ago, you can see that that's what's going on. I mean, everybody's being polite, but it's not wide enough. It's also not cushioned with regards to walking. A lot of the walkers that go walk 2 to 5 miles, maybe even more. So it's not as comfortable with regards to their joints. And since you do have security there, whenever the gates are open and the police department is nearby, if somebody's doing something inappropriate, you can very quickly get the police to come. The other is that as a result of this facility, our taxes do go up. Yaden, and it's not just for Yaden, we're expecting it to be used by all the 5 districts. But because of that, yeah, our taxes are going up or have already gone up. So we're asking that they reconsider that. And then there are some residents that are concerned with regards to timing. There are some people that walk earlier in the morning. It's not open at 5 a.m. So if they can take a look with regards to that, and I'm going to specifically ask with regards to September to March, they're saying it closes at 5 o'clock. I'm one of the ones that walks later. And I know that during September to March, you have games. Obviously, when you're having a game, those nights would be off limits with regards to walking. But if we could take a look with regards to the time frame with regards to that, that would be very much appreciated. And the other thing is outside of Fairfield, but we're talking with regards to all of these additional improvements. Keep in mind with regards to what that's going to do with regards to residents' taxes. In many of the different areas, some of the people are getting older, some of them are living on fixed incomes. It's very difficult for them to handle increased taxes. So we just need to become, cognizant with regards to when we're doing these additional grants. But if you could take a look with those things, we greatly appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much, Anna. 1 second, Dr. Vico, I want to comment after.
Sure.
Dr.
So,
Vico wants to.
in reference to, and this was shared at the meeting, on March the 7th, we are reconsidering the timing and expanding the use of the walking path. At the time of the meeting, I did state that it might be within the next 3 months. And I am not expecting it to take 3 months, but that was the time frame that I gave on March the 7th. Excuse me, ma'am. I have had an opportunity to go out there myself and walk around early in the morning. I think some of the 5 o'clock walkers were leaving as I was coming up. And so I wanted to experience it myself. So I have done that. I plan on doing it again. And we will be making and updating our use of the field or the complex sooner rather than later. So I did want to make sure that that was stated. Also wanted to let you know that we did meet with I think you entitled it the Recreation Committee. We did meet with them on March the 18th, and they have been informed of the protocols or procedures we have in place to access the field. We did verbally communicate to them that the date of Flag Day, that the complex was available. The first time that we received an official request was on March 18th. So we are continuing to work with the Recreation Committee to support Flag Day. I believe it's on June the 15th, if I'm not mistaken. And so we are going to be working with Yaden to make sure that that happens. The last thing I just wanted to make everyone aware of is that in reference to grants, I think you gave a great suggestion. So the total cost of the athletic complex was approximately $14 million. This board did acquire $7 million in grants. So that did offset the cost. And so the increase or the impact to the taxpayer is less than it would have been. In addition to that, another improvement that we're making, Cypress, the current ninth grade academy, is scheduled for improvements as well. We've also received a grant of $7 million from the Department of Energy. So we are serious about seeking other funds to support our efforts such that the impact to the taxpayer is minimal. But I do appreciate you sharing those comments.
No, thank you. And then you said that, so when, because I was thinking that in 3 months was when you were going to actually consider with regard to the, so we think by the time that the 3 months is up, we'll have an answer.
I think you'll have an answer probably within about 2 to 3 weeks, if not sooner.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Madam President, did you?
Thank you. I just, thank you, Dr. Pupos, for your comments. I just was gonna say, Miss Anna, I don't know if you're new to our district, and with moving to Gated. But we're trying our best to make improvements and not hit our taxpayer, not hit our stakeholders as much. We really are, you know, on the one hand, we need upgrades. I graduated from Penwood 2002. And when I'm saying we were running on a dirt track, as you know, we were running on a dirt track. We were running in the second floor. I understand taxpayers are like, well, listen, we don't want our taxes raised, which we're trying not to. But then we also want to give your students and your kids a better environment. So we are, you know, with Dr. Biko's strategic path, we're trying our best not to hit you all at once with increase of taxes. We really are, but we're also trying to give you what you really need. You know, we need to have a better facility for our kids, you know? So I just want you to know, we are trying to work with it. We understand we do have a lot of elderly people in Yaden and also in Lansdowne as well, you know, across all our 6 boroughs, you know. But we also are trying to give your children, your grandchildren, the best environment. You know, we're tired of walking down the street and seeing other districts having more than we have. You know, it's time to make some moves. So thank you for that. Yes, Ms. Hopkins?
And
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Ms. Hopkins.
And I also want to add that, please note that we are looking at, you know, making sure that we are fiscally sound with the decisions that we make. I too, disabled, can't afford these things as well on a fixed income. And so it means a lot to me to make sure that, and then I used to work for the Department of Aging. So again, I know these things and I always, and they all can attest, I'm the first one to say, where's the money coming from? Before we even make a decision, tell me where the money's coming from and, you know, and how much is it going to tax? Because we also live in the boroughs too. So, you know, it affects us as well as you. So, and I'm the first one to ask where the money coming from before I make any decision. So I just wanted you guys to know that and know that we are doing our due diligence by you. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Boykin.
Yep, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. Hello, class, and all of you have a hard job, and I get we have to make decisions for the betterment of the majority, if not everyone. The problem that I'm having personally with our field is the fact that we were told in the beginning that that field will be used for not only the school, but also for the community as well. There has been articles reiterating that. And when the field was done, we're thinking, okay, we can, you know, start utilizing the field, and we're told, no, we're not. We can't. And the reason we were told we cannot was because there was fear that the field would become damaged. Okay. And when I was told that the reason that we couldn't use it was because it may become damaged, I was a little insulted because I felt like I'm grown.
I don't walk around just damaging property. And I have other community members that are grown as well. We're paying, helping to pay for this field. You understand what I'm saying? So for someone to tell us, you know, we want to protect it from being damaged, who's to say we're going to damage that? So being told that, and I'll be quite honest, I felt like we were being discriminated against. That's what I felt like. Because other communities that do not look like us, they're allowed to use their field, their school district field. And then we're told we can't. So I did feel like that, and I did express that to several individuals. And in particular, Mr. Dean, and he talked with me and he said that's absolutely was not the reason at all. And I believed him. There was no reason for him to lie to me, but it felt like that. Because too often, it seems like Black and brown, we're constantly fighting for the basics for us to be able to survive. The basics for us to just be able to be happy. We're constantly fighting. And then when we get a little something and we think, you know, okay, we're going to enjoy it, so forth and so on, we're telling, no, you're not, you can't touch it. And I felt like, even though Dr. B. Coates did mention, give me some time, give me another 90 days so we can go back to the table and think about it. I felt like, why didn't you just allow us to utilize it for 90 days? And if there was a problem, then you say, you know what, we tried it, it didn't work out, and now we have to close it down to the community. That would have been the mature thing to do. That would have been a respectable thing to do, but we didn't get that respect. And we feel a certain way about it. Now we're being told that it's the maintenance, the ability to maintain it, because if it's overused, we have to be able to pay for the maintenance. Well, why wasn't all of that factored in when this project came about? You understand what I'm saying? We wouldn't be here if we would have just been told the truth from the beginning. Just, it's not, we may not like the truth, but we have to accept it. And I have to respect it. But to be told one thing and it really wasn't about that, and the thing that we were told initially, it was, we don't want you to mess it up. That's what we were told. So that was insulting. But if we would have just been told, you know what, financially, we cannot afford to, you know, maintain, if we, you know, overuse it right now, give us a little time, so forth and so on. Then we would say, you know what, still kind of messed up, but we should have been told the truth in the beginning. And we wouldn't be standing here today. I'm tired. I didn't want to come today. I came last week. You understand? If I would have knew from the beginning of last year, when all of this came about, we wouldn't be going through all of this. We would have understood it, still would have been a little sad, but okay. It's a money issue. So that's my beef. Transparency, that's all.
Okay. So first, Ms. Rokal, before you move from the podium, I want to first apologize that you felt as though that you were, it was, the tone was more so like we're discriminated against, because I didn't want you to feel that way or insulted. So I apologize for that. The opening was in November, the ribbon cutting. I actually was one of the first people I sat down. I believe we were in a board meeting, a council meeting, and we talked about the use of how we would use CURT. It's only been 4 months since we've opened CURT. The community, and also with Yaden, because we know CURT is in Yaden, was always going to be something where we would open it up to our community. Our athletic director, who's no longer with us, the first thing he had brought up was, how are we going to maintain the use? Because we know that all 6 boroughs are going to want to use this. That was something that was always in his mind. If you go to St. Joe's, if you go to Lower Merion, if you go to Upper Darby, all those have designs and tracks like we have. But the difference is they have money in their fund balance to be able to help with the maintenance, right? So when it comes to us, we wanted to get it out there to our community. But we also wanted to say, okay, you can use it, but fixing it is a thing. The maintenance and maintaining it is a thing. It's not like we were not transparent with you. We knew that, hey, once we open this thing up, we're going to have to figure out a way to maintain it. Right now, another thing that you may not know is we're looking for athletic director. That is something else. So our athletic director would also be able to help with the maintenance schedule, to understand when things need to be fixed, to understand who we need to bring in to get things fixed. It's not like we're hiding it from the residents or we don't want the residents to use it. Just for instance, before we got cameras up there, we were working with the Yaden police because people were jumping over the fence. In the community, jumping over the fence to go on there to do whatever. And what we want to do is we want to try to avoid different incidents. We didn't say that the residents are going to be the one to tear it up or anything of that nature. It's just like those districts that I named, those schools I named, they have ways to fix it immediately if something goes wrong. We don't, like, for instance, we have a track meet April 3rd. We don't want something to go wrong and we're not able to fix it right away. So it wasn't as if we're going to hide this from our residents. We know that Kerrfield is important to our residents. We do know that. So I just wanted to first to let you know that we didn't lie. We didn't lie to our residents. We do want our residents to be able to utilize the facility. But we also have to be smart when we talk about maintenance because we don't have an extra $400,000 to fix a piece of the track if it goes wrong. We have a Mondo field. If you know what that means, like we have an Olympic field. So therefore, if something goes wrong with a piece of that, it's so much money for it to get fixed. So as you just heard Dr. B. Coates, he will be extending the hours and we will work with our community members and figure out how it works for y'all. You know, what timing that you may need and we'll try to adjust. If we can't adjust, we'll let you know why we can't adjust. I think that what we're missing here is the why. And even though you may have been told, no, you cannot use it this time, I think we needed to be more in detail with the why. So I understand what you're saying. We're on the same page. And I personally apologize to the residents for making you feel as though, or a statement may have been made to make you feel, you know, that, well, we're being discriminated against or we're not allowed to use it or insulted. However you may felt about it, I apologize for that. But we do want our residents to use it and we will figure out a good timing for residents to be able to use it. And then once we get an AD in here as well with our business manager, with Darnell, we'll figure out how to maintain it because it is something that is going to barely cost to maintain. But I appreciate you coming today, even though you came last week. I appreciate you coming today to state your concern and getting us a better understanding of why the Yaden residents feel the way they feel. And I appreciate that. So thank you very much. And once again, we personally apologize.
In addition, we would like to be able to utilize the actual track as well, because we do have runners. We have runners. And just like you said, someone was jumping the fence. We don't know, you know, if they were community members or not. But here's the scenario. When someone was jumping the fence, you called Yaden Police because the field is in Yaden, right?
Yes.
Our resources go to Yaden Police as well, right? Now, when you have your games and those residents that abut that field, they have to deal with the noise, right? They have to deal with the trash, right? They have to deal with so many other things. Their peace is being disturbed, but yet and still we're giving. We're saying, you know what? It's only, you know, Friday night games, okay. So when we asked about utilizing the field and then we're told no, and we were told no because they were afraid that it would be destroyed. You understand what I'm saying? It made us feel like, well, wait a minute, we're giving up our peace. We're giving up parking. We're giving up our the cleanliness because of all the trash that accumulates. Our police resources are stretched thin. Yaden is the only community that's actually losing something as a result of the field being in Yaden. We're not really gaining much, but we're only asking just for a little bit. That's all we're asking for. And like you said, you know, you didn't mean for
you know, the statement to be made, well, we don't want you, you know, to use it because you might mess it up. You didn't want us to use it because you didn't have the monies to maintain it.
Mhm.
That was never said.
I understand.
Now I get it, I
Mhm.
understand it.
Mhm.
I still wish it was thought about when a project was being developed,
Mhm.
you know, and incorporate some monies for that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if possible. But I just feel like, you know, we could have avoided all of this back and forth.
Yeah.
You understand? I didn't say you lied. I just said we weren't told the truth.
I
You
mean,
understand what I'm saying?
yeah, I don't wanna
It was
say.
half truth. We don't want the field to get messed up.
Mhm.
But the other half of that truth was because we don't have money to fix it. The field is going to get messed up because it gets used. It's supposed to be used,
Mhm.
just like a new car.
Mhm.
We can't put too much, you know, of our life into a materialistic thing,
Yeah.
especially when it's supposed to be used.
Yes.
So that's all I'm gonna say, and you know, it
I-
is what it is.
I do
And
have-
I would like to have the track open because we do have some runners, even if it's 1 or 2 lanes, you know, but it is what it is. We voiced our concerns, you guys make the decision,
Mhm.
and we
I
just
just-
have to deal with
I
it.
do have to say though, everybody is giving. Like you may say just Yaden, but I do have to say everybody is giving because when it comes to tax dollars, everybody, all boroughs have to contribute to it, not just Yaden. Like everybody's giving. When we have after, like for instance, utilizing the Yaden police after games and stuff, we have to utilize our security as well. We have to utilize our staff as well. It's not just up to the Yaden police as well. So I just want you to know we are giving as well. When it comes down to student athletes getting scholarships, our coaches are helping and aiding in that. Like
You misinterpret what I was saying.
no,
I was
when
saying
you-
our peaks because the field is right
I
there.
hear you. I just don't
Okay, I
want
know
every,
everybody else.
I don't want every other borough to also feel as though that they're not giving. That's all I'm
Well,
saying.
I'm saying given as far as physically, when
Understandable.
people come into the community,
Understandable.
we get the crowds, we get the trash,
Mhm.
we get all of that. Yaden, not Alden, not Colwyn, not Darby, not East Lansdowne, not Lansdowne, but Yaden.
Okay,
That's all I'm saying.
all right.
But everybody pays their tax for it.
Yep.
I get that. Thank
Okay,
you.
you're welcome.
I'm going to make one other comment with regards to the field. This had been already addressed at one of the meeting legislative meetings, but when they did the games last year, the speakers were not properly adjusted. They said that they were going to take a look. You could hear the games like 5, 6, 7 blocks away. I don't think that that was appropriate. They said that they would write it down and take a look. They were rental speakers. I know we haven't had games recently. But if they could take a look at that and make sure that that's taken into account for when we do start having the game.
Meaning that it was too loud?
They were too loud. You could hear
Okay.
5, 6, 7 blocks away.
Oh, okay, okay.
I don't think it's appropriate.
Okay, Darnell's here. I'm pretty sure he'll take that into account. Thank you so much for all your comments, questions, and concerns. Yes, ma'am, you have the floor.
Good evening. My name is Angie.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
And I heard that you mentioned that you only received, I guess, 1 email regarding the situation.
In my email, I'm talking about for me
Okay.
personally.
Okay, I didn't email you because I like to start at the top. So I did send a letter to Dr. Beacon. I don't know whether he received it or not, because I didn't get a response, maybe he didn't have time. But my saying, with my fellow Ignite, I was talking about the field that is located in Haven.
Mhm.
And it was my understanding that the residents would be allowed to use the actual track at the field and not be designated to the walking path outside the track. I was present during the presentation regarding the upgrades to the track. I also heard about the tax fees that each household would be subject to in regards to paying for it. I was at the mayor's forum on March the 7th, where a decision was not made about the use of the field. We have since said that it might take 2 weeks to make something positive. Also, we did say that we could use it for Flag Day. My concern is, as a senior citizen on a fixed income, I'm alarmed at the rate that my school taxes are going up. I no longer have children or grandchildren that attend schools here. I have not used the track due to health issues, but I want to reserve the right to do so in the future. Perhaps you could, what you did, explain to us, especially seniors who live in Yaden, about the field. But my concern is it located in Yaden? If I have the energy to use it, I want to walk on the track. I walked on Pendergrass track. I've been on St. Joe's. I've been on a couple tracks. Right now, I can't do it. I have a grandchild who graduated from Penwood, 2 sons and a daughter that graduated from there. And I know how the track was. My youngest son graduated in 2001. I know it was raggedy. I saw the documentary on cable about your school district, and I was very disheartened. So my concern is, if I want to use the field, take my granddaughter there, that I should be able to use it. And I'm not going to get out there 5 in the morning, but I would like to get out there.
Okay, thank
And
you
I
very,
appreciate the update.
thank you very much.
And Ms. Lee, thank you. I did receive your letter last week and a response was mailed to you today. I have the letter sitting right here on my computer, but it was mailed to you today.
Stay over there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to just say thank you once again, to the Yaden residents, and just let you know, this is what it's about. You come to me and you speak out. We have to hear each other. We have to work with one another, and we're willing to work with one another. So, your voices are heard. We'll make the adjustments. I know everybody's not going to be happy with every adjustment, but just know that, you have been heard and we'll move accordingly. So thank you very much for your time. If there are no other comments, questions, or concerns, we are going to move from the public, comments for the non-agenda items, and we're going to go just right to the announcements of the future meetings. We have a property meeting on, April 2nd, which is a Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. via Zoom. We have a policy meeting on April 4th at 6:30 p.m. That's a Thursday via Zoom. We have an education meeting on April 10th, 6:30 p.m., which is a Wednesday. That's via Zoom. And our next committee meeting of the whole, which is going to be in person, is April 15th at 6:30 p.m., which is a Monday via Zoom. And also you can come in person. And then our biggest meeting is on April 22nd, which is a Monday at 6:30 p.m. That's via Zoom, and it's also in person. And we also have a budget advisory council meeting. And I want to stress this, residents, you're able to be a part of the budget advisory council. If you're questioning, where money is spent, how we're spending money and things of that nature, you got questions about taxes, please come to this meeting. It's Thursday, 6:30 p.m., April 25th, and it's ran by our chair, Ms. Jen Hoff. She can answer a lot of questions for you that you may have. But we are looking for more individuals, dedicated individuals, to be a part of the Budget Advisory Council, because it's important. Your community can ask you questions when it comes down to how the school is spending money and where things are going to. With that being said, no more comments, questions, or concerns. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Our meeting is adjourned.